game for gamers, made by gamers, by Flying Pig Games.
Hello everyone, today we're going to take a look at Mark H. Walker's The Long Road. It's World War III with a paranormal twist from Flying Pig Games. It is a World War III tactical game, platoon level. Paranormal, well, it's partly because Mark's already got kind of a World War III universe written out based in his novels. So instead of reinventing an entire World War III backstory, he just kind of went with one that he had. For those not interested in the paranormal twist part, there is actually a scenario book which is just strictly World War III, and so this will cater to everyone who kind of likes both aspects. Now we'll take a look here at the back and see what the contents are, and then we'll open up a heavy box. We're going to get 3 mounted 17-inch by 22-inch geomorphic game boards, 7 die-cut counter sheets, 63 action cards, full color rule set, 2 full color scenario booklets including 2 solitaire scenarios, 2 player aid cards for ages 14 up, 1 to 2 players with those couple of solitaire scenarios so you can play solo, and then playing time 2 to 5 hours. However, most of these scenarios you can also solo play. You just kind of have to play both sides. Alright, let's open it up. There we go. Okay, lid set aside. Here you have a set of 6 10-sided dice and some black cubes for tracking health and damage for your legend characters on the legend cards. So that's there. We'll just briefly open this up. We'll do another video where we take a greater look at these. Here are the legend cards. Down here is where you track their health with those black cubes. And when they hit the flip, you flip the counter of them on the board. So you have a few of them representing the important characters in the campaign. Then we have these faction cards, and these cards enhance play, kind of have surprises. So it's not entirely a card-driven game, but this will definitely give some surprises for your opponent here. But you have faction base, so V for vampire, and then here's the coven that supports them. And so depending on what part of the faction you're playing, these cards will give you those benefits. And then we have some cards for the Lycans or the werewolves, and then they have their clan behind them. So again, you just pick the portion of the card based on what portion you're playing. Then you have the witch, which is a singular faction. So every time the witch needs the cards, they just pull a card and do what's on the card. And vampire, or not vampire, the zombies are very similar. Again, it's just a singular faction deck of cards. So they don't have a top and bottom. You just draw for the zombies and away you go. Then you have the cards for NATO and the Soviet player. These are 36 cards, and as you play, these scenarios will tell you exactly how many cards you're going to have in your hand and how many you draw. Typically there's no limit to the amount of cards that you have in your hand, but you will start with a few, and then it'll tell you how many to draw each turn. And again, depending on if you're the NATO player, when you have a card and you play it in an appropriate phase, you'll play what's on the top, and if you're the Soviet player, you'll play what's on the bottom. So there's 36 of those. Then we have one of the first player aids. This is the turn record track. Very simple, so just track the initiative as you go through the turns, and it's got a very nice laid out sequence of play with the corresponding rules reference. And then a spot here for initiative. This is where you'd put the command aid, and that will help you adjust initiative because it'll tell you like how many times you get to reroll initiative. Aid and focus marker. That's the one that goes there. Then here, this one on this side is the fire results table, which you will then use to check for. You roll die 10, tells you how many hits you have, which is then how many morale checks your opponent will make. And then it's got a couple color-coded reminders to help you track either critical hits or if you're a missile user, if you run out of ammo. Then it's got the color band explanation for ranges. And then down here is a close assault table. And then of course it's got counter reference and then some reminders for you, and then shift band modifiers. And then on the back is the terrain effects chart. Just summarizes the prominent terrain features on the map and the effects that they have on movement and shooting. And then down here, it's also recommended to read the fine print, because sometimes this will answer questions on the terrain that might not be fully covered in the rules or explained up here. So read that section down there. Then the first book we have is the rule book, which is actually, this is a really well written rule book, and it is full color. What's nice is you do have a very comprehensive table of contents to start with. I wanted to make sure we showed that to you. Then, as you go along, again, I think things are laid out really well. Nice bullet points, colored text to call out notes and important things for you. And if you played Platoon Commander Deluxe, the Kursk, you'll notice that this is a larger page count, but that will take into account more the modern warfare aspects. So, you know, helicopters and missiles. Plus, near the back, then you're going to have a section that talks about the paranormal element. And again, I think is a great separation for those that might not be interested in the paranormal. So you have everything you need to play World War III up front. And then right back here in a handy dandy little section is the paranormal element. So everything is kind of grouped together as it's needed. And then as we get to the end, we've also got here all of the different ability icons explained. A lot of the ability icons are on some of the legend cards, but then some of the counters for representing special characters, they will have some icons, and everything's explained here in the book for you. And at the end you've got credits. And a really nice, here is a nice sequence of play. I would really recommend that a person, if you're not familiar with the system, or even if you're, you know, coming back, definitely read through, because this kind of summarizes the entire book into a nice summary. That's what that's for. Then at the back is an index. Fantastic. So again, find your keyword that you're interested in and look it up. Zombies, right there. Vampires, right there. You want to learn about anti-tank guided missiles? Well, there you go. Anti-tank guided missiles. So fantastic index. Then we have the Long Road Tactics book. This is the World War III scenario specifically. And we'll just kind of flip through here. I don't want to spoil any surprises, but here's a scenario that needs 2 of the maps. There you go, maps B and C. And this is just strictly no paranormal elements to it for those who are not interested in that aspect, but you've got a nice fully fleshed out World War III system and scenarios that will let you play this out. Then you have the campaign book, which includes all aspects of the game. And this is really good because it starts out, I don't want to say fairly simple, but it allows you to start kind of small and work your way forward as far as rules that you need to have down. As you progress in the campaign, then you're going to add more and more. And I don't want to show too much of the campaign because there are lots of special scenario rules, and there's paragraphs to explain the situation and fill you in. So I don't want to spoil any of that for you, but this is pretty extensive campaign, which I think will be very fun to play through with you know, either solo or with an opponent. Again, the solo scenarios are in the tactics book, which we set aside. So this will run you all the way through a huge campaign game with an overall kind of arcing story to it. So it starts small and then escalates as you go and introduces rules as you go along. Then we have here 3 maps. Now the camera space that I currently have won't let me completely unfold these, but as you can see, they are folded up and they are mounted. So these are not paper maps. You can see that the terrain is clearly visible. You can tell what you're looking at, which matches up against the terrain effect chart very well to give you the details and rules on how to use the terrain. So there's 3 of these geomorphic maps. You can kind of mix and match them as you want. I mean, the scenarios will tell you how to use it, but you know, if you're adventurous and like to make your own scenarios, you got 3 geomorphic maps to play with. Then you have the 7 counter sheets. So that's the last few things here we'll look at. And just stick them right here. Of course, they're double-sided, but what's really nice is you can tell they are individually put here in the counter sheet, and they pop real easily, and they're already pre-rounded for you, so there's no sharp edges. So we'll just kind of stick that one back there. So there's some of your zombies. But there you go. Here's like sheet 1, and then here's sheet 2 on the back. And I think you'll be really, really pleasantly surprised when you go and you check the front and back that the counters are aligned nearly flawlessly. I have not seen anything that was off the counter to where you couldn't tell what it was supposed to be. None of the numbers are cut off or anything like that, but these are centered really, really well. And I think they got some fantastic artwork, and they're pretty good size. These are the 1 inch, so easy to grab, easy to read, to see all the information you need. You can see some special characteristics are on the counters, but they're easy to tell. So you got a rifle over the movement, so it can carry troops. Boxed representations of different modifiers to like close assault. Yeah, so everything's really easy to see. And again, they'll just pop right out and pre-rounded. So there's counter sheet 3, counter sheet 4, got some tunnel counters there. Cobra, here's aid and focus markers for the Americans. Dragon missile system, your Abrams tanks. Yeah, so again, and of course double-sided. So really, really nice artwork on the vehicles too. So these are fantastic. Here's 3 more. So this is counter sheet 5. There's some smoke, danger, mines, some engineer units, mine rollers for Soviet, some Spetsnaz, a couple Cobras. Again on the back. Yeah, so not terribly cluttered with numbers, but again, a lot of the information, the color codes dictate the range that you can act at, so you don't have to have a lot of numbers, but you have enough to represent all the combat capabilities. And then the background images can dictate like fire and move. So there's some symbology on there to help, but that keeps kind of the clutter down a little bit. Let's see, and again on the 1 inch counters, that helps make everything a little more legible, so you don't have to shrink it all down. And again on the back, gotta have a hind, my 24 hind. Trucks, yep. You gotta have some trucks if you ever want to do kind of convoy stuff. I just noticed we got a couple trucks there. Here we've got some of the vampire, the coven type items that they have. Oh great, some zombies, there's some pukers. So yeah, found some of the paranormal stuff there. Corpse markers. Lose 1 hit, reroll die. You got the luck. There's one of the werewolves. A miss marker. Yeah, and again, everything's centered really well. Well, there you have it. We've got the 7 counter sheets, so I'll just stick those back in. Kind of reverse unbox. 7 counter sheets. You have the Long Road Campaign book. You have the Long Road Tactics book, which is the World War III only scenarios, no paranormal. Then you have the rule book with a table of contents and index to help you find the information you need. 1 player aid card, which has your fire results table, close assault table, and terrain effects. Then you have your turn record track, nothing on the back side, but a nice sequence of play reminder. Then we have the cards, which are now all out of their fancy plastic protections, but all together you have the NATO and Soviet factions, and then you have the various paranormal factions, so the zombies, you got the witches, you've got the werewolves and their clan, and then you've got the vampires and their coven allies, and then you've got the legends, and then you have the dice. Oh, and I forgot. I said to myself, there's a lot of space in there. What did I forget? And you have 3 maps, and it all fits in the box. And then you've got the cover, And there you go. That is Mark H. Walker's The Long Road, World War III with a paranormal twist. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let us know what you think of the game. Talk to you later.